What's up, everybody? My name is Amy, and this is the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. Put your way that you're sitting on top of the world. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. My name is Amy. Welcome to my show. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I have not been feeling well, and I've got a lot of catching up to do. So sit back and relax, and I have got some things I want to discuss, some new developments in several cases, just lots to talk about. So sit back and enjoy, and please, if you've got something to say, come on into my live chat and let's talk about it. So first off, we have in the Gabby Petito case. As some of you may know, the Schmidts and Petitos have filed several lawsuits. They had a wrongful death suit against the estate of Brian Laundrie, and they were awarded $3 million in that wrongful death suit. To my understanding, they also have a lawsuit going against the police department in Utah, I believe. It's the police department that made the traffic stop on Brian and Gabby when they were arguing, and they separated them for the night. I believe, anyone who has been following that case, saw that video, and to my understanding, the Petito Schmidt family have a lawsuit against them. They also have a lawsuit against Chris and Roberta Laundrie, the parents of Brian Laundrie, who is now deceased. Brian Laundrie is deceased. He took his own life out in the Macahachie Creek area after he came home, after he took the life of his beautiful girlfriend, Gabby Petito. And, the Gabby's parents believe that, Chris and Roberta knew that Gabby was dead. That and so the whole time that Gabby's parents were calling the Laundries, trying to find the kids. The whole time, even after they legally reported Gabby missing, and then when Gabby's body was found and all of that, Chris and Roberta Laundrie have knew all along that Gabby was dead, and they said nothing, not one word. And that is just morally, that is unfathomable, to put someone's parents through that. Now, legally, you have the right to remain silent. But the Gabby Petito case, that is one case that has truly blurred the lines between legal and moral. And I am going to talk about that more in another podcast, probably tomorrow. I have, a lot I want to discuss about that. But the new developments in the lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, is that the judge has granted Nicole Schmidt and Joseph Petito, Gabby's parents, they have granted them to be able to add the Laundrie's attorney, Stephen Bertolino, to the lawsuit against them. So Stephen Bertolino, the New York attorney that represented Chris and Roberta Laundrie, as well as Brian Laundrie, before he took his life, he's going to be added to this lawsuit. And I am all for it. I am all for it. I think all three of them should be sitting on a cot, smoking a cigarette in a jail cell together, in my opinion, if you want to know the truth. Stephen Bertolino, Chris Laundrie, Roberta Laundrie, just pure evil. Just pure evil. And I have no sympathy for them, But like I said, I'll get into talking about that more in another live podcast. The second thing I wanted to discuss is Dawn and Candus Wells and the Summer Wells case. Summer Wells has been missing now for a year and a half, and there has been no new developments whatsoever in her case. No leads, no suspects, just nothing. It's like this child just vanished into thin air, and no one knows anything. And Hawkins County Police Department, or Sheriff's Office, the TBI, they have allegedly been investigating this now for a year and a half, and they have nothing. No leads, no suspects, just absolutely nothing. And now Dawn and Candus Wells are seeking to get their boys back that were removed from the home after Summer's disappearance. Now, we don't know the exact legal reason that the boys were removed from the home. That's private information, involves minors, CPS and things like that. Those records are very, very confident, kept very confidential. So we don't know the exact legal reasons that the boys were removed from the custody of Don and Candus Wells. However, here's the thing. For all of us who have followed the Summer Wells case, we all know what's been going on with Don and Candus for the last year and a half. They have been on YouTube under the influence of alcohol and possibly even drugs. Don did spend several months in jail for his DUI that he received after Summer disappeared. According to law enforcement and the TBI, Candus and Don Wells stopped cooperating in the investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells. So here we are, going on to this summer it's going to be 2 years with absolutely no new information. But now, we know how some of what Don and Candus have been doing. And we all know that probably doesn't jive too well with CPS in their quest to get their children back. Now, we don't know what all has been required of them to do in order to get their boys back. Just some standard things that I can think of would be to be sober, both Don and Candus, to be drug-free and alcohol sober, repairs made to the house, cleaning the house, cleaning the yard. Of course, the Don and Candus would be required to, have medical insurance on the kids, have a job, just simple things like that. This your standard things. Now, we all know that first and foremost, neither one of them have stayed sober. Okay. They've been on YouTube panels and stuff, drunker than Cooter Brown, cussing people, calling people some of the most horrific names you could ever call people, who have just wanted to help them find their daughter, And Don lost his job, which he would have lost that job anyway when he went to jail. But it is his own fault at the end of the day why he lost that job. He blames it on Bullhorn Betty and Molly Golightly and JLR for coming to his job site and protesting. But, at some point, Don Wells, you have to stop blaming everybody else for your problems and take responsibility for your own actions. And that's something that you have got to remember. Whether someone's protesting outside your house or protesting outside your job site or whatever, you cannot keep blaming everyone else that you're drunk, or you lost your job, or you lost your kids, or you can't keep blaming everybody else for your problems. So, you might want to keep that in mind. But Dawn and Candus have apparently, their media spokesman, I guess, is still Tim Mullins, who is running the findsummerwells.com website. Dawn and Candus have expressed their frustrations regarding CPS and getting their boys back, and have discussed, that it's not fair that they can't, get their boys back, and their representative won't return their phone calls. CPS won't return their phone calls, this and that and the other. Here's the thing. As I said, we, the John Q public, don't know under what legal terms that CPS removed those boys from Dawn and Candus's custody. Also, Dawn and Candus have not been arrested in anything regarding the disappearance of Summer. So, as far as they're concerned, they're innocent. Well, here's the thing. Dawn and Candus have not been arrested for anything, or, in regards to Summer's disappearance. However, they've not been officially cleared as suspects either. Law enforcement has said everybody's still a suspect. So they, the parents who are the number one suspects, and as I've said before, it's nothing personal. This is just standard routine missing child 101. Parents are always the first suspect. So, they've not been cleared as suspects in Summer's disappearance. Therefore, we don't know whether they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance or not. So, how can CPS feel morally right? How can they even feel legally right about giving the boys back to Dawn and Candus when they don't know, we the public don't know, whether or not they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance or demise, for that matter? We don't even know if Summer's dead or alive. That's the thing. So how could you feel, okay with giving the boys back to them, not knowing? I mean, yes, that's where we get into the legal stuff. And you say, well, they haven't been charged with anything. They have not been convicted of anything. So why shouldn't they legally get their boys back? That's true. But, at the end of the day, this whole kids falling through the cracks of CPS and stuff is at such a heightened awareness right now because of because of Summer Wells, because of Oakley Carlson, Harmony Montgomery, Quinton Simon, and these children who have gone missing and been found deceased and whatnot. And CPS has been involved with the family. I personally don't feel right about it, would not feel right about it if I were these boys' CPS worker working their case. I would not personally feel right about it, about giving them boys back to Don and Candus until there is something resolved with Summer's disappearance. I'm just the type of person that, I feel you're better safe than sorry. So, I just don't feel that, now should they be granted supervised visitation with their boys? That's not really a question that I feel comfortable answering. I feel that whatever is in the best interest of those boys, and whatever is, however those boys feel, is what should be of the most consideration in this whole ordeal. If the boys want to see their parents, if they want to see Don and Candus under supervised visitation, that is something for them to discuss with the person handling their CPS case, in my opinion. I believe that these boys are old enough to say, yes, I want to see my mom and dad. I miss my mom and dad. I want to talk to my mom and dad. These boys are old enough to make a decision of whether or not they want to see or talk to their parents. So that would honestly, in my opinion, be a matter to discuss privately with, their CPS worker and that kind of thing. These children are minors. We have to respect them and respect their privacy. Of course, I know that all of us just want what's best for the boys and want to see the boys happy and healthy and in a good and loving and safe, sober home. But at the end of the day, it's what is best for these boys. So I do feel that is a matter of something to be privately discussed. I don't know what's going on with the representative or whoever that represents Don and Candus, and why they won't return their phone calls or whatever. They're the only people that can answer that question. But I just you have to question, has Don and Candus done everything that they were supposed to do, that CPS has required them to do to get their boys back? This is, something that just needs to be discussed. But, in my personal opinion, because we don't know whether or not they had anything to do with Summer's disappearance. It's just, I just don't think it's a good idea. You know, and, you know, letting them have supervised visitation, you know, that's the boys' decision and their workers' decision, in my opinion. It's not for me to make that decision, I don't feel. So now let's oh, forgot about this. The Idaho 4. There's some, new developments in the Idaho 4 case. Ann Taylor, who is the public defender for Brian Kohberger, is also the attorney for the mother of Xana Kernodle. Yeah, I didn't stutter. You heard me right. Well, apparently, Ann Taylor has dumped Xana's mother as a client. And, of course, we all now, know she's representing Brian Kohberger, the guy who stands accused of murdering this woman's daughter, Xana Kernodle, along with her other 3 friends. What kind of, did I go to bed and wake up in an alternate universe? What in the hell is going on? And this is concerning. This is very concerning regarding legal matters for Xana's mother, first of all, as well as future legal matters for Brian Kohberger if he is convicted of the murders of Ethan Chapin, Maddie Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Xana Kernodle. I'm very concerned about. I'm already concerned about grounds for appeals, and this guy's not even been convicted yet. But I have, firsthand witness knowledge of another case here in Arkansas that happened in the late 80s when my friend Laurie Brown was murdered. And her ex-boyfriend that murdered her, Daryl Wayne Pinky Sheridan, managed to appeal and get out of a death sentence because of his attorney's conflict of interest. And so, this is taking me back to Laurie's case and what, happened there, and how, Pinky Sheridan got off death row here in Arkansas. So, it's something, for what it, what my 2 cents is worth. I intend on contacting a couple of people and expressing my concerns for this situation. Now on to Leilani Simon and Lori Vallows and Chad Daybell. Oh my gosh. These 3 are 3 of the most soulless, empty, dead people I've ever seen in my life. I mean, just nothing. Chad Daybell and all his bullshit about zombies. I've never seen 3 bigger zombies than Chad Daybell, Lori Vallows, and Leilani Simon. Just dead souls, in my opinion. You know, yes, we all have the right to a fair trial and a right to an attorney and you know, and all this stuff. We know that. We all know that. But not once, not one time have you heard Chad Daybell, Lori Vallows, or Leilani Simon come out and say, I didn't do this. I'm innocent. I didn't kill my son, Quinton Simon. Lori, I didn't kill my kids, Tally and JJ. You don't have Chad saying, I didn't kill my ex-wife, Tammy Daybell. And I didn't kill Lori's children, JJ and Tally, either. You've not seen 1 ounce of emotion from these people. Now, you know, Chad Daybell is a man. Men don't show a lot of emotion. But Lori and Leilani, like, they are mothers. They are the mothers of these dead children. Quinton Simon, Tally, and JJ Vallows. They are their mothers. And not one time have you ever seen a tear shed for those children, or any type of sadness on their face, or just no emotion in regards to the death of their children at all. Nothing. And it just blows my mind that they're just, to quote Chad Daybell, these dead ass zombies in this world. Yes, Chad, you're right. There are zombies in this world that are walking right here on the earth. But they weren't JJ, and they weren't Tally, and it wasn't Quinton Simon either. Those children did not deserve to die. Those children did not deserve the horrific details that were done to them. These children barely got a chance to experience life. Little Quinton sure didn't. And JJ and Tally, their lives were cut so short that, you know, they didn't even make it to the age of 18. You know, that's sad. But not once have we seen an ounce of emotion out of these people. But yet they seem to have more rights than Quinton did, than JJ did, or Tally did, or Tammy Daybell, or Charles Vallows. They didn't have any rights. Their lives were taken from them by someone else, at the hands of someone else, in some of the most horrific ways. And it's just, all you see is these attorneys representing them filing motions for this, filing motions for that, blah, 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 blah. Lori Vallows' attorney has just filed a motion for the judge to dismiss her case, because she has never, in 3 years, she has never waived her right to a speedy trial. Chad has waived his right to a speedy trial. And the intentions are that they are going to try Chad and Laundrie together. So this is just a bunch of jumbled up legal mess is what it is. And, Laundrie has been found incompetent to stand trial twice. So that has, strung her case out for a long time. Then you have all the motions and stuff that Chad's attorney has filed that strung his out. But like I said, he's already waived his right to a speedy trial. And what that means is the state has only a certain length of time to take you to trial once they arrest and charge you with something. And so now Laurie's lawyer is saying, well, my client's not ever waived her right to a speedy trial. She's been in jail for 3 years, and so we want you to dismiss her case on these grounds. No. It just sickens me that all the stuff that these people are trying to do to get out of being punished for their crimes. And, yes, everyone's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. I don't give a shit about the law. Leilani Simon is guilty. Laundrie Vallows is guilty. And Chad Daybell is guilty. Them kids were found buried in Chad's backyard. Leilani was seen dumping her son into a trailer park dumpster. And her son's remains were found in a landfill. Tylee and JJ's remains were found buried in Chad Daybell's backyard. Where were those children's rights? Where was Tylee and JJ and Quinton's rights? But in both cases, their defense attorneys have asked for no cameras in the courtroom. It's already been granted in the Daybell Vallows case that no cameras will be allowed in the courtroom for their trial. And now Leilani's attorney is asking for the same thing. Now, if you've been following true crime for very long and watching trials on TV and whatnot, my first trial was the O.J. Simpson trial, as it was happening back in the 90s. I don't remember. I want to say that was C-SPAN then, or I don't know if it was actually like court TV or what it was, but yeah, the O.J. trial was my first trial. And, since then we've seen numerous trials on television. We saw Kyle Rittenhouse. We saw Jodi Arias. We saw Greg and Travis McMichael and William Roddy Bryan, who killed Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. We've seen Casey Anthony. We've seen, the list goes on and on and on of trials that we have been able to watch as the John Q. public live, as that Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, that we've been allowed to watch because we, as the John Q. public, do have a right to see these trials. to view these trials. Trials are open court. You know, this is public court. And we have the right to, you know, see these trials. Now, you know, the media coverage of these trials is huge. And, you know, you have people from all over the world, not just the United States, but from all over the world who are following these cases and who are interested in these cases and want to watch them and want to see justice for the victims in these cases. So, you know, not allowing us to see these cases is wrong. But, you know, what their concerns are is about their clients getting a fair trial. And, you know, the media, all the media coverage makes it hard to find jurors, you know, and all that. And that's what their concern is. And I get that. But, you know, I mean, if you're worried about getting potential jurors in a case, and you're worried about the media exposure that these potential jurors have in these cases, then the best thing you can do is, once a jury is picked, sequester the jury. In my opinion, that's the best thing you can do to ensure a fair trial, to ensure that these jurors that you've picked for these cases, you know, don't have access to media coverage. Then the best thing to do is sequester these juries, in my opinion. And now, you know, we never know how long these cases are going to last. And, you know, I can only imagine that it would suck ass, you know, to be sequestered in a hotel or somewhere, you know, away from my family and that kind of thing. I feel, in my opinion, that there are some things that they could do to make sequestering a jury a little more tolerable. You know, under supervision, if you have these juries under supervision while they're sequestered, there are ways and there are things that could be done to make their, you know, time spent sequestered a little more tolerable, in my opinion. But, you know, that's another topic, another discussion. But if it had not been for HBO, Joe Berlinger and Bruce Sinofsky, two wonderful guys I had the opportunity to meet and talk with several times, if they had not come here to Arkansas and filmed the trials of Damien Echols, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miskelly to do their documentaries on the West Memphis Three, I have no doubt in my mind that Arkansas would have swept them under the rug 20-something years ago. Damien would have already been put to death, and Jason and Jesse would still be rotting away in prison for the rest of their lives. Had it not been for Joe Berlinger and Bruce Sinofsky's attention and awareness that their documentaries brought to the case of the West Memphis Three, 3 innocent people would still be sitting in prison, and 1 would be dead, put to death by the state of Arkansas. Now, I'm not here to argue with you about what your personal opinion is in the West Memphis 3 case. It's a very controversial case. I understand that. I understand that there are people that still believe that they are guilty, have always believed that they were guilty, and there are people like me who believe that they were wrongfully convicted and that they are innocent. But ask yourself, if you were on trial, would you want to be convicted for a crime you didn't commit? And would you want your trial to be filmed? And so therefore, if you are innocent of your crime and you get convicted, you've got this stuff on record other than just the trial transcripts. You've got this on record. And if your clients are so damn innocent and then they get convicted, wouldn't you want the public out there to raise hell and bring awareness to your case to help, bring real justice the way that, the West Memphis 3 case all unfolded? That's just my thoughts on the matter. If Lori and Chad's and Leilani's attorneys think their clients are so damn innocent, then why wouldn't you want their trials filmed? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And just because a trial is filmed doesn't mean that your clients are not going to get a fair trial. It had no bearing on O.J. Simpson's case. He walked away scot-free, innocent. Had no bearing on Casey Anthony's case. She walked away scot-free and innocent. So, look, defense attorneys for Leilani and Lori and Chad, the media is going to cover these cases, whether you like it or not. The YouTube true crime community is going to report on these cases, whether you like it or not. You're not going to stop the media. So what is the difference in when these jurors have to walk outside to a mob of people and a mob of reporters and a mob of people screaming, they're guilty, they're guilty, they're guilty, they're guilty, And so, some of the things that the Daybell and Vallows attorneys came up with was just completely ludicrous, in my opinion. Not one time have I ever heard that media had somehow infiltrated their private conversations, the defense attorney's private conversations, in the courtroom with their clients, or had such a great zoom lens that they could zoom in on their notes that are in front of them, or and stupid shit like that. Not one time have I ever heard of any media source being guilty of doing that. Because, while some of these media sources, they don't care. They're going to do whatever they have to do to get the story and the inside scoop and all that kind of stuff. Some of them have absolutely no integrity whatsoever. But not one time have I ever heard of media going that far. And getting some kind of a boom microphone or zoom lenses to where they can see, private documents by the defense or the prosecution for that matter. Or, hear their private whispered conversations and stuff. Normally, every trial that I've ever watched, when there's some sort of like an objection or whatever, and the attorneys, the prosecutor and the defense attorneys go up to the judge or whatever, the sound is always turned off when we, the John Q. public, are watching it on TV. I've seen that done millions of times. The sound is muted so that no one can hear it. But, I just think that it's wrong that not to allow the media to be able to cover these cases and to be able to come in to the courtrooms and film these cases. I think it's an injustice to the victims in these cases. And, that's just my 2 cents worth on the whole mess. So, let me know what you all think. Do you think cameras should be allowed in these court proceedings, or do you think cameras should not be allowed in these court proceedings? Do you think that juries in these high-profile cases, such as Leilani Simon, Lori, and Chad Daybell, do you think that that they, don't or shouldn't, have their trial? Do you think it goes against their rights? Let me know in the comments what you think and how you personally feel about, this situation and not allowing cameras in the courtroom. And because that's what what I'm here for. I'm here to discuss these matters and let's all discuss in a kind manner, our opinions and our thoughts on these situations. So, but that is really all I have right now to discuss. I'm going to be discussing the situation with the Laundrie and Stephen Bertolino and the lawsuit that Gabby's parents have against Bertolino and the Laundries in another live. I don't know when I'm going to be doing that, but probably maybe tomorrow or Sunday or whenever. But like I said, let me know what you all think and what your opinion is about no cameras allowed in these courtrooms and stuff. And give me your 2 cents worth. If you love all things true crime and you want to discuss these cases and talk about these cases, please hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you. It's free to subscribe to the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. It's free to like and share these videos. And, please help me grow my little channel and get into the algorithm and, so that I can build my channel and reach a broader audience. So with that in mind, here at the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast, our motto is to be the change that you wish to see in this world. As Michael Jackson said, it starts with the man in the mirror. Peace out, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
From the Ruby Pearl Glamper True Crime Podcast. If you love all things true crime, then please hit the subscribe button down below and don't forget to hit that notification bell. And please give us a thumbs up because you're all invited back next week to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality. True crime, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back